So hey everybody, my name is Bri Piro. I am not Filipina, although I love Filipinas. I'm Latina. My mother's Peruvian and my father's Italian American. My mother came here when she was 20 years old. My father was born here. I was born in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Yes, no? Yes, no? East Lake in the house, no? No? Okay. So today, Crystal has asked me to perform for you guys. And I dance, I love dancing salsa. But I was like, you know what? Let me talk some. Let me tell them my experience about being a woman, about being Latina. Let me just talk to them. So like I said, my father's Italian. He's basically white, right? And I always felt like the only way that I could say that I was Latina was when I was woman enough to be called Latina. I'm not even sure if I'm a woman yet. Can you believe that? I've been working since I was 13 years old. I pay my own bills. I have my own place. I've been pregnant. And I still don't know if I'm a woman yet. My Sweet 16 was supposed to measure that though, right? When, you have that little shoe changing ceremony, you go from your tacos, you go from your slippers to the heels. I didn't do that shit because I thought it was corny. So maybe that's why I'm not a woman yet. Because I didn't do the shoe changing ceremony at my quinceañera. Another reason I thought that I wasn't a Latina woman yet was because I couldn't speak Spanish, right? Raise your hand if you've ever been called a gringa. That was really hard for me growing up. I was always called a gringa. I could read Spanish, I could write Spanish, I could understand it fluently. Because my mother always talked to us in Spanish. She also talked to us in English because she had to speak English because she had to talk to her American husband. The only words that my dad knew in Spanish were cerveza and borracho. So when I went to Peru, when I was like 10 or something, that was really difficult because I was constantly called being a gringa. When I started college, I started working at a restaurant, and the cooks there was a Dominican cook, Yanni, she was like my second mother, and then there was 2 Mexican male cooks, Conrado and Humberto. And I told myself, I'm gonna practice with you guys. I'm gonna learn Spanish. Because I can speak it a little bit, but I was so scared, like you have to have confidence if you're gonna actually speak a whole language, So I started practicing with them. The whole thing about being a gringa is that you call it gringa, right? You can't do the R. You just can't, it just doesn't work. Like your tongue, it's just dumb, it doesn't work. So I'm speaking with them, I think I had just gotten my new car, or a car, my first car. And they're like, so what's up with the car? Like, where's it at? I'm like, ahí está afuera mi nuevo carro. Carro. What the fuck? I was like, oh shit, I just rolled my R. Where did that come from? And then I was just walking around the whole kitchen. I was like, uh-oh. And I just kept walking around the kitchen saying, yo soy la reina de la... I was the queen of rolling my fucking R's. That was nuts. Like, literally, I don't know that I felt that Latina since that moment. It was really dope. Anyway, on being a woman, I personally don't shave my shit. I posted a really controversial picture of my own vagina, actually, on Instagram, because I edited it so it didn't look like it was actually mine. Because that's not okay, right? You just can't do that shit. So I was like, when did this become so socially unacceptable? When did this hair that's so natural on my pubic area become so disgusting, right? So on that note, I had my first one-night stand, like not too long ago. And I'm getting a little awkward here because my first one-night stand, it was really good. He was like he knows that I'm in Scream Theater. Okay, Scream Theater?
Woo!
So the way he went about consent was very continuous, very enthusiastic, and he always wanted my yes, which was awesome. But then guy, like right before he was going into the pants, I was like, by the way, I don't shave. Because I understand that that's weird for people. I get it. And I don't want you to catch you off guard and you're just like, oh, there's something like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, you know, I just wanted to give him a little warning. Then this motherfucker, he goes, how bad is it? And I was just like, I was so confused because, like, seriously, how bad is it? And so I asked him, I said, what do you mean, how bad is it? And then he realized what he said, and he was like, no, not like that, I just mean, like, how much? And still, I was just like, boy, like, you're hard as shit, like, we're already in bed, like, what do you mean? Are you gonna kick me out? Is that what's gonna happen? If it's, like, some, like, Chewbacca down there, like, what are you gonna do? Like, I don't get it. What are you gonna do? That was nuts. So yeah, that happened. And, let's see. But, you know, we did our thing, we had sex, it was really good. And then, funny enough, a few days later, and I'm not putting two and two together, I don't know, but I got tonsillitis, okay? Which is like just a sickness in your throat, okay? And yes, I sucked the dick. And so then, you know, putting these two things together, I'm just like, and being Latina as hell, growing up in a Catholic-ass household, you know, I go home, my mom was like, and what were you doing that you got sick like that? Like, what was it? And I was just like, nothing, Mom, this can happen to anybody. I went through a whole bunch of pain that week. I couldn't swallow, like, it was just really bad. I ended up in the ER. It was don't get tonsillitis, okay? I mean, that's a joke, okay? Because literally it can happen just anytime. I don't know if it's because of the one night stand, I don't know. But anyway, then I was like crying because I was in so much pain. I had to get my tonsil drained. It was just really bad. And of course, you know, being Latina, being in this Catholic-ass house, I'm just like, God, I'm never gonna have sex again. I'm never gonna suck any more dick in my life. Like, I'm never fucking doing this shit. Oh my God, I'm getting sick because of it. Like, I just, you know, the whole dramatic drama queen situation. But that week, I remembered how Latina I was. Because being at Rutgers, I don't know, it's weird. Unless you're in these organizations, you kind of forget. It's really sad. Literally, I live next to a bunch of Hispanic families, and I still forget that I'm Latina sometimes. Because I'm not in this organization, because I'm not in the organization I just came from doing a Scream performance in. It's weird. So anyway, when I was home, my mom took care of me very well, like most Hispanic moms usually do. And she goes, of course, she brings out the Vicks. She brings out the Vicks, because all Latinos love Vicks, and because of la Vicks Vaporub, cura todo. Tell me some places you put your Vicks, guys, and girls. Where do you put your Vicks? Your nose, you have to put that shit on your nose.
Your forehead.
You gotta put it on your forehead, you gotta put it on your feet, and then put the socks on. Does anybody, your chest, of course your chest, that's what Vicks is primarily for. But Spanish people think otherwise for some reason. So anyway, Vicks Vaporub, my mom, puts the Vicks on my chest, and then she takes a newspaper and puts that on my chest, and then I have to wear my shirt over it. Like an insulation theory, is that what's in her head? Yes, no, does this resonate with anybody? Okay. Well, I'm pretty Latina for that, I think. So, the other thing they do is, this garlic and ginger, you have to eat a whole club of ginger, right? Yeah. Whole club of garlic, you have to put the ginger in your tea. And then my mom, so she walks in and she was like, Bree, you have to gargle with salt, you have to. And I'm like, okay, mommy. And she's like, la sal hace milagros. And I was just like, does it, Mom? Like, does salt really do miracles? Like, what type of miracles does it do, Mom? Like, am I gonna grow some boobs after I drink and gargle some salt water? Am I gonna grow a dick? Like, is that the type of miracles we're talking about? Because I'm not so sure that salt really does milagros. But she is a Peruvian super Latina woman, so la sal hace milagros. Another thing about being a woman is that when you go to the doctor, You get asked when your period was. So you guys don't have to deal with this. That question is so much more powerful than what it seems. I personally don't like tracking my period. Now that I'm having sex again, I'm gonna start tracking it. But it's an interesting thing where like you don't know when your last one was, and then this like self-doubt and like guilt and just like crumbling sensation, not sensation, it fucking sucks. Like literally I just feel like I'm 2 years old again because I don't know when my last period was. And that's so sad because guys are never gonna have to be, like they are never gonna know what that feeling is like. I feel like so much less of a woman when I don't know when my last period was. Some of us don't even remember when our mom's birthday is, and yet I'm being judged for not knowing when my last period was. But there's a whole half of people, a whole gender of people who have penises who don't need to know when their last period was. I know. That part, it still gets me. And so the thing is, that's weird, is that like, I have so much to say about being a woman, about being Latina, and I still doubt myself. It's as if we live in a like white, patriarchal, misogynistic society or something. I don't know.